Hey guys, welcome back to the Crypto Explorer channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about how much can you earn from opening a liquidity position here on Pancakeswap. If you want to provide liquidity, concentrated liquidity more specifically, how much can you earn, things to consider. So if you're new to this type of thing, pay close attention. I had some interesting comments on my last video I did on this topic, showing you how you can earn Bitcoin with Pancakeswap. I had some comments asking me, is this real? Is this a scam? Yes, it's very much real, guys. There's no scams here, but it goes to show that the bulk majority of the people, I don't think they do understand or know that they can do this. Put their money to work with legit platforms such as Pancakeswap and just earn passive income in a rate that traditional finance doesn't even come close to. So that's the beauty of it. I'm going to share with you my thoughts and the things that you should consider if you're a newcomer to this type of game. So pay attention to this video. And before we start, like, subscribe if you enjoy this type of content, and if you want to know more about providing liquidity, among many other things that I talk here on the channel. I also share tools to help you with your DeFi journey. There's plenty of information that I share with you that's going to be useful. That being said, let's jump into my USDT Bitcoin position and see how much it has earned me so far. And here we are. Currently the position is inactive, which is very handy for this video. I'll get into that more in a second, but so far I have been this position opened for 8-9 days. In between that, it has generated 61 cents worth of cake. So it depends. If cake goes up in price, these 60 cents can go up in price. Simple as that. You can also choose not to stake your position here on the farm, because when you stake on farms, you pay some more fees. So the number one step, you have to create your position. I have another video full on in depth explaining how can you do that. I will link it down below, so if you want to check that. It's going to be a longer watch. It's half an hour type of video, but you can play it on 2x speed, for example, and speed things up. Now, like I was saying, staking on the farm is optional. So when you click here on the APR, you will see the fees, or the APR broken down in between fee APR and farm APR. The farm is the cake. So this specific farm pays 3% on cake, 6%. Never mind that. This is just for people who are already staking cake on Pancakeswap. All right. So what you need to consider is that if you're a newcomer, you'll be earning 3% farm APR. That earned me 60 cents, something like that, worth of cake. 0.23 cake so far. The other percentage, the LP fee, is 19% roughly. So what does that mean? That means that whenever people come here on Pancakeswap and trade USDT for Bitcoin or vice versa, they will pay a percentage on the value of their transaction. It's going to be, for this specific pair, 0.05%. Part of those fees are going to be split in between liquidity providers, which is my case. And if you want to see how much have I earned so far, so let's go into the position and talk a little bit about the things you should be aware of. You can see that my minimum is over $63,160 USDT per Bitcoin, and the maximum is $64,500 worth of Bitcoin. So whenever Bitcoin is in between this price range, it will be generating me fees. These are the unclaimed fees that I had since the beginning. I never collected, just for the sake of making this video. If you go here on history, it shows you when I started this position. It was on the 29th of April. It shows you the amount of tokens of USDT and Bitcoin that I added back then when I opened the position. And have this in mind, this is very important. So this position right now is inactive, and like I showed you, it has been generating fees for over, or roughly around 8 days. The catch is that right now it's out of range. You see the current price is under my minimum, so it's outside of my net range, so it's not earning fees. And for the most part, for these 8 days, I would say 5 to 6 days roughly, it has been out of range. So in reality, these $4.81 plus the cake have been generated in between something like 3, 4 days, something like that. And I think 4 days is pushing. I think it has been within range for under 4 days. But overall, this roughly is almost 3% of my total investment, $170. And that means that even if it would be the case that it had farmed these fees for 8 days, it would mean that 3% in between all these 8 days. So it's already unparalleled. Traditional finance doesn't even come close to this. At this rate, we could be looking at the end of the month something like 9% or 10% on my initial investment. And the beauty of it, I can collect it at any time. I can remove my money, my position at any time. It's up to me. I have full control of my finances. Now, one of the things to consider right now is that my APR is at 0 because it's outside of my range. If it would be within the range, it would show me almost in real time how high the APR would be. I can tell you right now, if it is in between my setup range, the APR will be over 300%. So if the price of Bitcoin hasn't been so volatile and it had kept within the range, yeah, I would be looking at something like, I don't know, $10, something like that, in unclaimed fees. But it's not, because that's one of the risks that you have to consider. I could also at the same time had set up a wider range, so I could still be earning some fees, although at a lower APR. It's up to you. My choice was doing that, and at any point in time I can remove liquidity, open another position. It's just a bit of a hands-on approach. Yeah, if you don't have the time or will, there's other options. Pancakeswap has some automated options that I show you on my other video, but you can also use an outside protocol which is much more precise and detailed on what to do when you go out of range, and that protocol is Aperture Finance. Keep a lookout for my upcoming video on it. I will do a full breakdown and step-by-step introduction to Aperture Finance so that you can understand how can you open a position there that it's fully automated. If it goes under your minimum price, you can say, hey, collect all my liquidity, remove the position, collect the fees, and close the position, I'm out. At the same time, you could say, if it goes up, do the same thing. If it goes up or down, I don't want to remove my liquidity position. I want to set new ranges because I want my money to earn me fees passively all the time, 24/7. I don't want it to be sitting there idle as it is right now. So you have a lot of control over that using Aperture Finance, and basically these are the things to consider. Now, if you go and start with a smaller amount, like for example, in my previous video, I did show you a position open with just $20 worth of liquidity. In that case, I would advise you to set up a wider range, because creating a liquidity pool will cost you around $1. It's going to be under that more likely, but let's say for the sake of explaining, it's around $1. It's $1, right? So $1 for creating and $1 for removing just a liquidity pool, right? We're not considering the farm. The farm will require you, if you want to stake that, more on top of that. So look at overall a couple dollars just to start your position and remove it if you want it. Now, the risks are, of course, if you start with a smaller bag, that your claimed fees can actually not be enough to cover for those costs. Look at those costs as expenses from your business, because after all, this is your business. You're setting up a business, so you have to set your ranges accordingly if you don't want to experience that. But that's part of the risk of playing this game. You can set up a wider range. It's a more hands-off approach. You'll earn lower APRs, but at the same time, you will earn 24/7, depending if it's within or without your range, obviously. 3% in 10 days, this is something traditional finance can't even compete with, so I'm very satisfied with it, and not even considering that this amount of Bitcoin, who knows how much it will be in 10 years. At the same time, I'm building my Bitcoin bag, and if I would want to opt out, also be aware of this. If the current price is under your minimum, you're getting out paid fully in the stronger coin. In this case, it's Bitcoin. If my price range would be currently over my max, let's say if it was currently 65,000, I would be going out of this position paid fully in USDT. So I would be having my liquidity worth of a little over $170 paid fully in USDT. So I have full control of my finances. I would be basically selling Bitcoin at a profit. And right now, as it is, if I would sell the way I see it, I would be buying the dip. This liquidity amount depends on the price of Bitcoin. For example, if you see the current price going lower, this liquidity value would be dropping because I am fully exposed to Bitcoin price as long as the current price is underneath my minimum. And that's it, guys. If I wanted to add more to this position, I would just have to click here the add button, set the amount of, in this case, USDT and Bitcoin to add to the position depending on the current price, and that would be it. Simple as that, earning passive income. So now you can have an idea of how much you can generate in fees. It will depend on your APR, obviously. So like I said, mine is over 300%. So in 3-4 days the most, it has generated this amount of fees. Guys, thank you for watching. I'm gonna wrap this one up. Let me know what you think on the comment section. If you have any doubts, feel free to share those. Take care. You know how crazy crypto can get, but this is a legit play, a legit way to earn passive income with DeFi. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.